Hi everyone. At the time of speaking, I am currently speaking to 5,356 of you. This is a milestone I never thought I'd reach, but, well, that I'm extremely grateful for, nonetheless. As you probably figured out by now, this is just kind of an improv sleep aid video. I'm probably not gonna edit it too much. I'm just gonna be speaking like this whole time. But, well, I asked if you guys had any questions for me, and I think the post has been up for about a week now. So, let's answer your questions. I will try to be as honest as I can, because otherwise, what would be the point of doing this, right? So, sit back, get yourself into a position that you are comfortable in, and let's answer some questions. Also, it goes without saying, but apologies if I butcher your username. So, starting off, Goodman the Man asks sexual orientation, aka wants to know my sexual orientation. So, I've said this before in streams, but I'm not really comfortable talking about my sexual orientation on this channel because I just feel like it's not really important for the videos. My job is simply to bring you guys comfort and help you relax and get you out of a bad day for a few minutes. And I feel like my orientation is kind of up to whatever you guys want it to be. Wally, little moon icon, asks favorite Pokemon with a couple of emojis beside it. Ooh, my favorite Pokemon are, I love Giratina, was always a really big fan of Giratina. Shaman as well, although Shaman, some of you would be hard-pressed to find Shaman. I love Fennekin. I haven't actually played any of the Pokemon games except for X and Y, and I went with Fennekin as my starter, and I loved Fennekin. I used Fennekin for the entire game, and bonded with Fennekin the most. And also Lucario, but only specifically in the Lucario and the Mystery of Mew movie. I'm not really a huge fan of Lucario outside of that movie, but within it, he is a very good character, like that Lucario specifically. Cool username asks, do you have a favorite video game? I do, actually. I have a few favorites. Excuse me. My top favorites are Dragon Age Inquisition is one of them. Also, For Honor. It's probably my most played game of all time. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. That is a childhood favorite of mine. It was the very first game I ever played to absolute completion, like 100%ed. Child me was very proud of that. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword as well. That game holds a ton of nostalgia for me because I remember playing through it with one of my best friends when we were still very little, and I never got to finish it with him. We got close to the ending, but... Oh wait, no, I did. Never mind. I was gonna say, because he moved away before we ever got to finish the game, but then it hit me. No, he didn't. I think he moved away before we finished our second playthrough. But, my number one favorite game of all time, though, is Persona 5. I absolutely love Persona 5. It is a game that I both just loved as a game, but also just bonded with on a personal level. And it came out and I played it at probably one of the lowest times of my life. It was still starting off in high school, you know how it is if you've been through high school, very stressful. There's a lot of pressure because you're slowly transitioning to adulthood, and it was also the year where I got my very first crush, and then, it didn't work out, and I went through heartbreak for the first time. And youch to anyone who's ever experienced it. The first time is brutal, but that game really helped me as well, and it's also just a really damn cool game. One of my friends, as an early birthday present, actually got me Persona 5 Royal, which I haven't played yet. I'm waiting until I go back to my college dorms before I play it. It's part of the reason why I loved the original game so much, is because I played it during a time when I was going to school, and right now I'm just taking a work leave. Which, speaking of my birthday, Irv_Raw asked, what's my zodiac sign? I am a Virgo. My birthday is September 21st. I don't know too much about astrological signs, but as far as I know, Virgos tend to be very affectionate and creative, but also very self absorbed. I will let you do with that knowledge as you will. Uh, Star DCF asks, I have a bunch. Have you listened to K pop? If so, what songs? Pasta or pizza? Black or brown coffee? Summer or winter? And lastly, cereal or milk first? So, one at a time. The only K-pop song I've listened to is KDA or All Stars. No, sorry, it's All Star. No, not All Stars. Oh my god, it's that League of Legends songs by KDA. What is it called? Maybe it is All Star. No, whatever. I'm not talking about Hey Now You're an All Star. Not that one. I think that's by Smash Mouth. But yeah, it's the only one I've listened to, and I actually didn't like it the first time I heard it, but like a lot of things I end up loving later on, yeah, I didn't like it the first time I heard it, but after listening to it like 20 times, it just grew on me very, very quickly. Pop Stars, that's what's called, not All Stars. That just hit me. It's called Pop Stars. Um, Pasta or pizza? Ooh, that's very difficult. I guess maybe pasta just because it's easier to prepare and it's kind of more universally liked, but I still really like pizza, don't get me wrong. Deluxe is how I take mine. Black or brown coffee? Brown. I haven't learned to tolerate black coffee yet, working on it. Summer or winter? Winter, probably. I kind of prefer the cold more than I prefer the heat, but only just slightly, because, like, both are kind of unpleasant in their own right if they get to get to nasty levels, but the winter is... I'm not really a huge fan of the sun, and no, not for reasons you're thinking. I don't stay inside with all the windows closed and all that. No, I go outside quite frequently. It's just more the fact that when I was little, my parents would lock me out of the house quite a lot and force me to stay outside during sunny days. So whenever there was a sunny day, all I could think was, oh gosh, I'm gonna get locked outside and I won't be able to come in, even to take a piss. I just had to do it outside. It wasn't as bad as it sounds. We lived out in the country back then, so, there was a lot to explore. But just, sorry, that was, as you probably figured out by now, I'm very bad at giving short and direct answers. Anyway, I hope my voice is still putting you to sleep, though. I should probably calm down. Cereal or milk first, also? Cereal first, that's just how I've always done it. I think milk first is probably more efficient, to be honest, but... I've always just done cereal first. That's just how I've always gone. Emmerich Ackerley, I think, also asked what my favorite game is, and yeah, I already answered that from earlier. Let me think. I'll add another one to the list of my favorite games. Let's see. I really like... So I'm a big fan of, like, RPGs, as you probably figured out by now, and... Open world games I used to be a huge fan of, but over time they've kind of slowly degraded on me. I still like them, but my attention span is kind of shortened. But one of the games that kind of reawakened my love of open world games is Ghost of Tsushima. I got it while it was on sale, not knowing that much about it, and I thought, like, people were saying that it was a good game, but that's literally all I knew about it, that it was good. And, oh yeah, and that apparently it had very good graphics, and I thought, okay, good graphics, they're nice and all, but, like... Is that enough to carry an entire game? And oh boy, that game is eye candy. Like, the soundtrack was excellent, the voice acting's excellent, the story's pretty good, and it is such a beautiful game. Like, I highly recommend it if you're into samurai themed games. What type of music do you like? And are you a Panic at the Disco fan? I'm gonna get this wrong, I'm sorry. Yafi Nabila? Not Nabila asks. So, I'm not a fan of Panic at the Disco, but it's not that I dislike their music, I've just never heard their music. Yeah, I'm not really a huge, like, music listener. I'll kind of just listen to whatever pops up on my recommended, and if I like it, then I'll add it to my playlist. But my personal favorites, let's see, I have a couple of songs from Skillet on my playlist. I also quite like Aviators. Like, their Howling at the Moon album I do like quite a bit. Black Roses, Outside, Can You Feel It, Traveler Song, not Howling at the Moon. Oh my gosh, what's it called? It's from that album, but I can't remember it for some reason. No One Will Save You Now, that's what it is. Yeah. Generally, I have a lot of artists in my playlist, but I literally usually only find one song from that artist that I like and just put it into the playlist and then just move on to another artist. I know. I know, it's strange. Uh, Matt Nyan asks if you could travel to the world. I'm getting Discord messages. If you could travel to the world, what places would you like to go to? So I'm an extremely paranoid person, so I don't travel very often. I would love to travel, don't get me wrong, and I come from a family that really enjoys traveling, but I'm like incredibly paranoid. So whenever I'm in an unfamiliar environment, I am never ever at ease. I'm always on edge. But I'm hoping one day I can overcome that. And the places I'd like to go to, oh boy. I really want to go to Scotland. Like Scotland is just kind of my vibe. I'm a really I maybe this is a stereotype, but from what I've heard about like the weather over there and like the geography and like the history there, it's all like right up my alley. Like I am Scotland. But I've also really wanted to go to London, like London, England. I don't think I really need to explain myself on that one. It just looks like such an amazing place that I'd love to go to. Uh, there was one more, but it's slipping me. Oh my goodness. I'll probably remember a week from now when it's no longer relevant. Favorite anime and character, Ziketches. Zik asks. Oh boy, my favorite anime. Wow, that's really hard to pick. Okay, I'll name off a few of my favorite animes. I don't know which one's my number one favorite. So I really liked the Danganronpa anime, or at least season one of it. I liked that one quite a bit. I also quite liked Kill la Kill. It was very entertaining, very funny, and very well animated. I also was a big fan of Castlevania on Netflix, the Netflix anime. Like, oh my goodness. Uh, it is such a funny. It's funny, but it's also, again, very well animated, amazing soundtrack. And I'm not even a fan of Castlevania, so the fact that I liked it so much really holds true to its quality. I could actually quote so many jokes from that anime. My favorite character from that one is Trevor Belmont because obviously, from Danganronpa, I quite like Chihiro Fujisaki. I know, unpopular opinion, but I do really like that character quite a bit, as well as Kirigiri and Naegi. I usually like protagonists. What can I say? And from Kill la Kill, Iragamagori was easily my number one favorite character. How can you not love Gamagori? He is just the most entertaining character in that whole show. I mean, they're all great, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I've always really liked the like loud, beefy characters. I don't know what it is about it. Like I have like Seven Deadly Sins, for instance, one of my friends recommended to me. I only watched the first episode. It wasn't really my thing because I'm not a fan of animes that usually revolve around really overpowered characters. That's also why I wasn't a huge fan of Overlord. But that one guy in the first episode, if any of you have seen it, the conclusion guy had me laughing my ass off. I loved him so much. Anyhow, yeah, I feel like I'm missing one more. There was also Assassination Classroom I quite liked as well, although I don't remember any of the character names, and that's just because I'm really bad at remembering names, and Japanese names even more so. The only reason I remember Danganronpa is because I played the video games as well. Bucket Geared asks, favorite myth and best/worst joke. Well, out of best/worst jokes, I'm gonna have to go with ones I've heard because off the top of my head, I can't think of any of my like ones that I've come up with that were incredibly funny. They kind of just come out naturally. Don't take that out of context. One of the best jokes I've ever heard. Well, one's from the aforementioned Castlevania, where the party is sitting around like a campfire, and Alucard is describing Dracula and how he used to be a doctor. And Trevor goes, wait, Dracula was a doctor? What was the first lesson? Bloodletting. And Alucard looks at him and goes, God, you still think you're funny. And that is such a quotable line. I've used that for so many of like my other friends where they'll tell like a joke they know is bad and we'll just go, God, you still think you're funny. I also quite like when he's, I'm saying quite like quite a bit, but when Trevor loses his weapon and he just grabs like a table leg and he's like facing down this huge demon, he's like, you're an ugly looking bastard, aren't you? Well, I'm armed with a stick. So, I understand if you want to run in terror now. I don't know if I got the line exactly, but And the ending when he's like completely just destroyed from fighting the final boss, and Scythe like throws him down to the ground and goes, "Could somebody please kill this man?" And he just goes, "It wouldn't be hard." But also not quoting Castlevania. I remember a lot of jokes from high school because usually I'd just be walking around like the school during lunch or whatever, or just sitting in the classroom, and I just hear the weirdest things from other people's conversations. I wouldn't try to eavesdrop, but like they talked very loudly. And I remember I was passing by this group of girls at one point, and the only thing I heard from that conversation was, oh god, how did it go? She said something like, my breasts are a lot like my fridge. I keep checking even though I know there's nothing there. And I was like, if I was a girl, I would absolutely say that. Uh, Another one of my favorite jokes, I would say, but it's kind of NSFW, so I don't want to chance saying it on YouTube. It's nothing too bad, but it's like I don't want to risk it. The worst joke I've ever heard was one told by my cousin, where we were sitting inside of a parking lot, backed up inside tons of traffic, and we were going to be there for a couple of hours. And he told this one joke that just did not make sense. He said, like, a key is locked outside of a car. How did the key get into the car without anybody putting the key into the car? And I was like, I don't know. How did he do it? And he said, the key slipped through the window and into the ignition. I don't get it. How did the key do that? And we like asked, no one laughed, and we like asked him to explain. And he said, like, nobody came to the car. The key just went through the window. We're like, but keys can't move. And the joke wasn't that the key could move. It was like, no, it was just a regular key. And it just stuck on the car. I don't know. Do you get it? I don't get it. Are you asleep at this point? Are you bored? I don't know. Maybe I'll bore you to sleep. uh, Sorry, telling that joke reminded me of something, but now it's lost me. Oh my goodness, that's gonna drive me crazy. Oh, now I remember. It's not really a joke, it's more of a fact, but the final one was, I was once told by somebody, fun fact, your car keys have traveled farther than your car. Oh no, they're right. They also told me another fun fact, which was that it is physically impossible to be inside of an empty room. Like, really stop and think about that for a second. You cannot physically be in an empty room. Or, I guess more specifically, any room that you are inside is not empty. Anyway. Alexa asks, what's your favorite color? Are you a dog person or a cat person? Favorite food? And your eye color? Kawaii face. So my favorite color is green. It has been since I was a kid. I don't really know how much detail I can get into that. Green's just a very pleasant color to me, and usually whenever I'm playing games or drawing my own like little characters, I'll usually have them wear like either darker clothing. I'm kind of a fan of like natural colors as well, so like, you know, like dark brown or black or gray or something, like gray armor for instance, and then like I'll have like green lining. Like, you can't really tell in the most recent Answer the Call thumbnail because it's in black and white, but I did color the image anyway. I just made it black and white to make it like, I colored it so that the black and white would look more authentic, but Adrian's actually wearing a like brown leather coat and a green feathered hat and a green cloak, and Jade is also wearing green robes as well with a kind of darker green scarf. I don't know. I'm a cat person. I like dogs, don't get me wrong. It's just I'm not good at putting a lot of like undivided attention on a specific thing for long periods of time. I like being able to do my own thing, and like that's why my cat Moreo, you know, he kind of just does his own thing, and we leave each other alone. But every now and again, like he'll come in and he'll like curl up on me or just lay next to me, and he won't like demand all my attention, but he'll just be in my presence. Or I'll just come up to him while he's like sleeping and just give him a little like scritch behind the ears or pet him for a bit and then leave him alone. And it's like, we don't need to devote the rest of the day to each other. It's just little show up and then, hi, I love you, and then leave. My favorite food, tacos. I love tacos. Tacos are great. There's a lot of combinations you can make with them. There's a lot you can tell about a person the way they prepare their tacos, and they're just very, very tasty. Although I like homemade tacos. I don't eat tacos at restaurants. My eye colors, eye colors. Well, I guess I could be heterochromatic if that's the word, but No, my eyes are brown. They are a darker brown. Um, my sister's is as well. Actually, I think my entire family's is, except for my dad's. He has green eyes, but yeah, I have brown eyes. I don't know how to pronounce your name because it's in another language, so apologies, I can't read that writing. Would you rather sleep butt naked in an oversized shirt or chest naked with oversized pants? Chest naked with oversized pants. I want something covering the lower half of my body because I'd rather that than, I don't know. I find, like, if you're into it, then go ahead, by all means, no shame. But I'm not really a fan of, like, a shirt and no pants. Some people find that, like, cute or, like, attractive or even sexy, and I'm like, I don't know. To me, it's, like, not my thing. If it's your thing, by all means. Enva wants to know left beef or right beef. Curious to know. So here's the thing. Don't at me for this. I have no idea what that means. That sounds like an innuendo of some kind or like a special definition. I did actually look it up a little while ago, and the best that the Urban Dictionary gave me was, well, just look it up in the Urban Dictionary and you'll understand why I can't say it on YouTube. So, I don't know. I'm going to flip a coin. I guess right. I don't know what I signed myself up for. Fennec Fox asks, do you / have you ever played a sport? If so, which one / ones? I have. I played soccer when I was in early middle school. I usually played defense in soccer because I usually just preferred to, defend our side rather than push the offensive. Which, by the way, can I just make a gripe? Every single time I played defensive, every single time somebody came at me with the ball, they always did the same thing. They would come at me in a straight line, then they'd look at me, and then they'd kick it to the left, and then stop it with the right foot, and kick it to the right and go around me. And they think that they're so clever doing that. So, like, I'm going to fake him out and go this way. But it's like every single time someone came up to me, I'm like, okay, watch, you're going to feint one way and go the other. And sure enough, every single time. I just got so good at predicting it at one point that every time they would, I just cut them off. Although, fun fact about my soccer days, I actually earned a title for a little while. I'm gonna say, so there was this one time during a game when the enemy team was trash talking us, and I do not like trash talk. Like, trash talk really sets me off, and not in the way that's like what they're saying inherently offends me. I just have no tolerance for like hate slang or like people intentionally trying to say something to rile you up. So I was getting pretty angry, and when the enemy team was like trying to prod me, I was refusing to show any weakness. So there was this one time when one person on the enemy team kicked the ball at me, and it flew, like I was charging forward, and they kicked it at me, and it flew right at my face, and it hit me in the face. So just out of pure stubbornness, I didn't flinch at all, and my nose started bleeding, and I got a red mark over my face, but I just kept charging, and I went after the ball and went onto the enemy side. I didn't score or anything, like nothing else happened after that, but I got the nickname the Invincible Coffee. Like, obviously they used my real name, but I'm gonna say Coffee for this case, and they called me Invincible Coffee for the rest of the year, which kind of sucked actually, because that sounds very, like, presumptuous or very like bold, like this character on our team's invincible, or this guy on our team's invincible. I'm like, I wasn't. I just happen to have a very high pain tolerance when I'm angry. Or more specifically, I still feel the pain. I just refuse to show that I feel it. Anyway. What inspired you to make ASMR content? Brendan Provo wants to know. Yeah, okay. So the thing that inspired me to make ASMR content was I started getting into it in my early days of college when I first moved out and was going through hardcore loneliness and depression. I used ASMR and listened to a lot of significant other / friends to lover role plays to help me cope with that, and it helped quite a bit. And I also just got into the hobby of listening to it while I was drawing, and I thought to myself that these role plays, or this ASMR content, like I was looking through a lot of comments, and I saw just how much it helped people, and I thought, wow, these people really make a difference. And I kind of wanted to try it out myself, but I was really hesitant to because I didn't think I would, be able to do it very well. And I don't know, at the time it didn't really seem like my thing. But after a while, I decided to give it a shot after a lot of debate, and see what happened. My main goal was just to help other people that were going through the same stuff that I am, because I know that I'm not the only person struggling with loneliness or depression. Like, obviously, there are tons and tons of people that are in the same boat that just really desperately need a shoulder to lean on or someone to tell them that they care. And if you are one of those people, I know that I may never personally meet you in the real world, but you deserve the best, and I'm rooting for you. I truly am. And, well, I'm glad you're here. There's only one you in the entire world, and you deserve to feel loved and valued, and you deserve to be happy. So, if you're listening still, I love you. I truly do. Thank you for being here. The thing that also inspired me to make audios for both genders was actually, there was one voice actor I followed by the name of Teacup Audio. I need to address this. Our names are very similar. If anyone asks, she was first. I named my channel A Warm Coffee Mug because I wanted to name my channel. I wanted to make it sound like a comforting and approachable, like, a name, but also wanted it to be like something that a lot of people generally associate with good feelings. And I thought, coffee, that's a simple thing that makes a lot of people happy, and A Warm Coffee Mug sounds like a very comforting name. But Teacup was very much first, so if someone has to get, like, accused of copying, blame me, okay? But anyway, there was one video I remember that she made that was actually for both genders. There was a F for M video and an F for F video. And I thought, wow, she put a lot of extra work into making it approachable for both genders. I think that's very inspiring, I guess, or very considerate. So this was still months before I started A Warm Coffee Mug, but I thought to myself, if I ever make an ASMR channel, I think I'll do the same thing. It'd be a lot of extra work, but I'm willing to do that. And, well, now here I am. Anyway, Renan_731 wants to know, is the What's Left of Me story over, or does it have more hearts to come? It's not over. I am taking a bit of a break from it because I was basically making What's Left of Me and only What's Left of Me for an entire month. Excuse me. But no, I do not plan on ending that series on a part 3. I do want to keep making it. So it's not over. I'm just working on a few other things right now. But yeah. Peter589 wants to know, what do you like the most about recording videos? And then a little heart and a smiley face. Oh gosh, my favorite part? I don't know, because there's a lot of things I enjoy about it. I'd say my least favorite part is the actual recording process. I still like it, don't get me wrong, it's just the part that I like the least, because there's a lot of pressure. Like, every time my voice laps even slightly, I'm like, oh no, now I gotta do this whole sentence over again. So it's like, there's this pressure to constantly say everything perfectly, and if you lapse up even a little, you gotta say the whole line over again, and you need to not be too loud, but you gotta not be too quiet, you gotta, like, convey the right vocal range, and, like, it's fun, but it's really nerve-wracking. The editing can take a very long time. You know what, actually, I think maybe editing is my least favorite part, just because it's like, again, I actually like editing more than the average person does, but that's kind of the stage of, like, I just want it to be done. So it's a lot of, like, there's kind of just this feeling of, like, I just want to get this over with. I still enjoy making it, but sometimes you just want to get the video out. You don't want to sit there and edit it, which is why I'm not editing this video at all. Okay, I had to stop it for a brief moment because my throat was getting very sore, so I've got a sore throat. Halls. Maybe you can hear it. Yeah, I'm not going to suck on it. I'm not going to suck on it. That now is not the time. Feel free to take that out of context. So, Western asks, do you have any artistic avenues you partake in or would like to partake in? It could be learning a certain musical instrument, dance, way of painting, improv, etc. Well, improv is definitely one of them. Like, I don't do it professionally or anything, but when I took drama in high school, I like to do, like, stand-up improv skits. I play improv with my friends from time to time, and I do like that quite a bit. Dancing I've always been very self-conscious about because I feel like I'm not very good at it, but I've always really wanted to learn how to properly dance. Not enough to, like, take a class on it, but, like, it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I've only ever gotten to dance with my crush once, and one of the best moments of my entire life. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. Which, Fun fact, actually, I was going to tell this in the Storytime podcast, but I went to a high school semi-formal once, and I got challenged to a dance-off. Like, legit. I was on the dance floor with my crush, and then this dude just walks up with all of his friends, and he just pointed at the floor and was, like, requesting that, like, we throw down, and he challenged me to a dance-off. I'm like, wait, what? And I didn't want to at first, but then one of my other friends, she pulled out her phone and started recording. She was like, yeah, coffee, start dancing. And I thought, okay, well, if she's recording this, I don't want to disappoint the people watching. So I don't even remember what I did. I just did whatever came naturally, and I won. I don't even know how, but I won the dance off. So yeah, I have legit won a dance off. I've won 2 dance offs. Oh my god, I just remembered that I also won one at prom as well. More people challenged me to one at prom. Same thing, minus the part where people were recording. No one was recording. I don't think. I don't know. I mean, hey, if any of you went to a prom where one person was dancing like a maniac while being surrounded by a bunch of other jockey dudes, then hey, maybe we went to the same school, and in which case you know what I look like now. But yeah, as well as musical instruments, I am learning how to play the guitar. I've been learning since, I think it's been for 8 years now. I'm not saying this in a cliched sort of way, though. I'm honestly not that good at the guitar. I've just been very slow to pick it up. Like, I can play extremely basic stuff, but I'm not, like, a legend with it or anything like that. Plus, a certain other member of my family is very, very good at the guitar, and there's a lot of pressure for me to meet up to their standards, and that's kind of weighed on me a little bit, because, you know, it's hard to meet somebody that's doing a lot better than you, and it's hard to motivate yourself to do that when someone close to you feels superior. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get all mopey. I've also kind of always wanted to learn the piano, but that one's kind of more of like, it'd be nice to learn, but I don't know if I can put the amount of commitment required into it. Although, I'm trying to learn how to sing as well. I spent 2.5 years in choir in high school, mainly to refine my voice for acting, but also just because I wanted to learn how to sing, and I don't know, my singing is kind of 50-50. Some days it's really good, and other days it just sucks. Sentoku asks, if you play a lot of video games, which game do you think has best OST? So, what people would consider to be the best OST is obviously purely subjective. Everyone has their own favorite music taste. Everyone has music they like and don't like, so there's no inherently best OST. Original soundtrack, to those of you who don't know. But if I had to name a few of my favorites, I really like the soundtrack from Persona 5, of course. Yakuza 0 has a really good soundtrack, like lots of very good action music in that. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, the first one, also had some good songs that I was quite fond of. I liked them a lot. I say Ghost of Tsushima's got a pretty good one. It does. For Yarikawa is my personal favorite one, but that's everyone's personal favorite. I also like Bushido from it as well. My favorite ones from Persona 5 are, oh boy, Rivers in the Desert, obviously. Beneath the Mask, Last Surprise, Break It Down, The Days When My Mother Was Here, Kings, Queens, and Slaves, Life Will Change. I think I already said Last Surprise, yeah. Let me think, there was one more. I like the soundtrack from the original The World Ends With You. I'm a huge fan of Calling. That's one of my favorite ones. And the opening theme song as well. I don't know what it's called, but it's really cool. Oh, Nier Automata. That's what it was. Nier Automata soundtrack I'm also a huge fan of. There are so many good ones from that one. I'm having a hard time recalling any off the top of my head, but Weight of the World was one. Bipolar Nightmare was one. The Factory music, I forget what it's called. Birth of a Wish, Grandma Destruction, A Beautiful Song, Rays of Light, that's probably my favorite one, Rays of Light, Dependent Weakling, oh my gosh, there's so many. Yeah. Zombie asks, favorite My Little Pony character, Rainbow Dash. Need I say more? It's Rainbow Dash, no question about it. Freaking Rainbow Dash. Len asks, did voice acting get you interested in ASMR, or was it vice versa? Is scripting, voicing, or editing your favorite part of the process? Does the concept of story come first in writing, or does the character of who you are come first? So, it was voice acting that got me interested in ASMR, because I've been doing voice acting since I was a kid, and I didn't even know what ASMR was until I was in college. Um, Between scripting, voicing, and editing, I guess I'd have to say, even though I said it's a lot of pressure, I guess voicing is probably the most enjoyable out of those three. Editing, you have a lot that you can experiment with in the video, and there's a lot to do with it, but like I said, sometimes you're in a mood of like, I just want to get this over with. Same thing with scripting. It's like, I wish I could just sneeze and an entire script just came out. I like writing some of it, but other times, again, it's like, I just want the script done. But voicing, it's a lot of fun. Actually acting the character is quite a bit of fun, because even though there's a pressure to do well, being able to play a character that you don't normally play is really fun. Like, I quite liked playing the dominant tsundere Neko and the yandere character, both because they're so radically different from how I normally am in real life. I am not like that at all, so it's very fun to put yourself in like the mindset of a completely different person. That's one of the beauties of acting. And as for the concept of the story or the character, it's usually the concept first. A lot of the times I have a concept in my head, I'm like, this is what I want to happen. And then the character's personality kind of just plays out along with that. I'm not very good at writing specific personalities or even just writing personality and characters in general. So generally I try to just stick with a relatable and understanding character who kind of has a witty sense of humor from time to time, or a very self-conscious and shy character, because those two generally fit me, and I know myself better than anyone on Earth, and I know better than I know anyone on Earth, so I can write myself into stories pretty well. Oh my god, that sounded so egotistical. Point being, usually the concept of the story comes first, and the character's personality comes later. Ooh. Throat is sore. Oh boy. NG Bloodshot wants to know, what inspired you to start doing ASMR videos like this? What is your favorite video that you've done so far? How does it feel to know that you make 5k people's day better when you post? Remember that you're loved by us. Thank you, NG Bloodshot. There's a lot of pressure whenever I upload a video. I'm always scared whenever I upload, because I'm worried that I miss an editing mistake, or that like there's something about the video that isn't quite right, or like certain things might unironically trigger some viewers. And like I remember in the Neko prom video, for instance, a lot of people really got upset with all the yelling, which I didn't think about, and I felt really bad afterwards, because I want these audios to be a place of comfort and safety for you guys. So the fact that like I sometimes don't do that and cause unpleasant like memories or feelings in other people when they just want to be comforted is, well, it's scary, because I don't want to do that. So there's this fear, partially because I want you guys to like the content, but also because I want to make sure that it's good for you guys and that it helps quite a bit. So it's scary, but at the same time, it is immensely humbling as well to have 5,000 people backing me up and helping me, and also just basically saying like, hey, we accept you for who you are and we like what you do. I don't know how many of you tune into my coffee streams, but a lot of the time, as I've said before in those streams, I'm not really used to that. I get shamed quite a lot by my family for the things I enjoy doing, so it's nice to have 5,000 people that say just the opposite. My favorite video that I've done so far, to be honest, what's left of me part 2 and 3, for a lot of reasons. I'm a huge fan of vampire ASMR. What can I say? I just really like it. I have specific taste with it, of course, though. And part of the reason why I made What's Left of Me is because I wanted to make a vampire ASMR, but also because I wanted to... I don't know if ASMR is the right word. It's not really ASMR. It's more just audio roleplay. Whatever, I'll call it ASMR. But partially because I wanted to do one, but also partially because there was a kind of a specific... I'd never seen anybody make one where their boyfriend/girlfriend gets turned into a vampire and they have to kind of live with it. Or like where they initially started off as human and got turned over time. Like if there is one, then I apparently just haven't seen it. But anyway, just point being, it's one of my favorite ones because, as I've also said, I also do really like shower ASMRs as well. And it's not for the reasons you're thinking. I do quite like scenarios where you're kind of in a position where both of you See, I don't know how to say this without making it sound like very bad, but just hear me out. When you're both in a position where you're kind of vulnerable, or you have to make yourself vulnerable to the other person, or you could very easily take advantage of the situation, say, for instance, being in close proximity with each other in a shower completely naked. But I do quite like those ones where, like, you're in that position where you could, but obviously you don't, because that that shows that there is a strong bond of trust between the viewer and the listener. And I really value trust like that. It's also kind of a more like mature understanding of those things as well. Because, like, you can be immature about it if you want to, but you don't have to be. Like, sometimes you can just enjoy each other's company, and it's like that trust and intimacy that I really, really value. And same with like the vampire ASMRs. Part of the reason why I like those so much is because they're in a position, like the vampire is in a position where they could very much like be incredibly dangerous to the other person. So again, it takes a lot of trust and love to, maintain that. And I really value something like that. I value trust and loyalty. I've already gone over what inspired me to do the ASMR videos, but yeah. Loneliness, curiosity, and seeing other people do it, and the interest of making other people happy. Second Cup ASMR. Oh, hi, Second Cup. I gotta know your go-to coffee order, or how you make yours if you do it yourself. Whew, okay, so I have a bit of a confession to make. Despite everything I say on this channel, I don't drink coffee that often. I'm still acquiring my taste for it. Like, I have it every now and again, but I try not to rely on it too much. I usually only take it if I'm, like, genuinely feeling sleep-deprived or whatever and I need an energy boost. Generally, the way I just take it right now is just very, very simple. Just, like, regular coffee with 1 sugar and 1 cream. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Sometimes I have to go a bit further beyond that, but I do quite like the candy cane coffees though that they sell at Tim Hortons during the holidays. Those are wonderful. I don't think they had any last year in my hometown though, which made me really sad because I love those. I kind of drink hot chocolate a lot more than coffee, but I do still enjoy coffee quite a bit. Lucas Delgado asks, in a fantasy game, do you see yourself as a warrior, rogue, mage, or cleric, or maybe even a mix? So my number one go-to is a cleric. When I play D&D, I play cleric quite a bit, and when I play fantasy games, I almost always play the support role, because I do enjoy being the healer in games. In Overwatch, my main is Brigitte, and yeah, partially because it's part of a mix of I don't really like leaving the healing to other people, because very few people can do it well. But I also just really like feeling important on the team and feeling like the backbone of the team, and healers are definitely that. Like, when you're going through regular encounters and like RPGs or whatever, you're not really that helpful, but during boss fights and such, and especially during PvP-oriented games, you're gonna be glad that there's a good healer on your team, because they are the thing that keeps your team alive. Like, obviously, everyone has a role, Like, the warriors are in charge of dealing the most amount of damage. Rogues are kind of that as well, and also some sabotage and doing things more creatively from the shadows. Mages are also good at, like, usually AoE or manipulating enemies or the environment around them. Usually you got maybe some warriors being like tanks, for instance, to like draw enemy attention and keep them occupied. And for clerics, your job is to keep people alive and keep them strong. And I also just, well, as you probably figured out by now, I do also just enjoy helping people quite a bit. So it's kind of a mix of like, I don't trust you enough to do it, but also I enjoy doing it, and I like feeling important. One of my favorite things of all time in games is when I play the healer role and I do a good job and my team thanks me. That validation, I value it a lot. And last question, Burning Cloud Beats. What is the meaning of life? So, if this question was easy to answer, we would have figured it out a long time ago. I am no philosopher. I am no wise person whose thoughts are worth any 2 cents. I'm no preacher. I'm no priest. I'm no astrophysicist. I'm just going to get to the point. The point is, I don't really know what I'm talking about. But if you want my personal opinion, and if your opinion is completely different, that is completely fine. I am not saying that this is the actual meaning. It is just what I believe the meaning is, but I could be wrong. I could very much be wrong, okay? I'm open to people saying, no, you're wrong about that. So, that's just how I personally feel. I, of course, do not think life has a specific purpose, because I believe that humans were not brought into the world for a specific purpose. I believe we just happen to be a race that figured out how to communicate with each other and evolved over time. We're not really special or different from the, like, there's nothing about us that really makes us inherently special compared to the other races or other, like, animals on this world. We just happen to grow up and learn how to use our arms and legs to build stuff, and we, over thousands upon thousands of years, learn how to communicate, and that's why now we're kind of the dominant species on the world. But I don't think there is a purpose to it all. We kind of just happen to figure out how to become dominant, at least on Earth anyway, but there is a, like, unbelievably colossal universe out there, and we haven't even explored, like, a quintillionth of it. There is so much out there that we know nothing about, and I don't think we're even ever really meant to see what's out there. It's not there specifically for us. Okay. Personally, I do not believe that there is a god or gods. I'm open to being wrong. I could be wrong about that. Maybe there is one. I'm just kind of the person who needs to see it to believe it, and I've never seen any surefire signs that have made me a believer, but maybe I just haven't been in the right place at the right time. So, if you are religious or you have a religion, then that is completely okay. I respect your beliefs. Just, I'll leave you to yours. You leave me to mine. But I personally believe that there is no one watching over us, trying to get us to do stuff, or if nothing else, just there to guide us, or has some big plan for us. I feel like that we're just here and we make our own purposes in life. Like, I wasn't brought into this world for the sole purpose of growing up and starting an ASMR channel and helping thousands of other people relax. I chose to do that out of interest. No one decided for me that I was going to do that. And not to get morbid, but I will probably live and die on this planet. And I think a lot of us will. And we're probably not going to ever see what is beyond our galaxy or anything farther beyond that. Maybe there isn't anything beyond that. Because I don't think there is anything, like, beyond there that's meant to bring us salvation or enlightenment or anything like that. I don't think there is a purpose beyond it all. So instead, I feel like while we are here with the small amount of time that we do have as mortal beings, that we just give it our own purpose, because memento mori, we're all going to die eventually. I know that's extremely morbid, I'm sorry, but I just mean that more as, like, our time is limited, and with that limited time, we choose what we do with it. And for me, I'm trying to pursue what I love, and trying to help other people find the motivation to keep pursuing what they love as well, and keep going with their time. So overall, I really don't believe there is a specific meaning to life. I just feel like that, the purpose of life is just simply to live. We, like, we are just simply brought into existence, we live, and eventually we die. And we choose what we do within that time. There is no specific objective during that. Like, I think I probably made my point clear about this, well, by this point. Alrighty. Well, that was all the questions you guys had. I don't know if you're still here, or if you've fallen asleep by this point, but, well, I hope the rest of your day or night goes well, and if not, I hope tomorrow goes well too. And I hope you find some comfort and, well, relaxation in all this. And like I said earlier, remember, you deserve to be loved. I'm very grateful for all of you here, and I'm absolutely humbled that I get the privilege of being able to do this for you guys. So, thank you very much for being here. Well, guess it's the end of the ramble. Have a good night, and pleasant dreams. Bye.